Mic check, mic check. I think we're rocking and rolling. And we're live. Thank you guys for being here. Woke up one day closer to greatness. Just another step in the right direction. Got a little setup going here. Much more to come. But hope everyone's doing well out there. Already see the chat popping off, so happy to see that. Happy to be here. I'm not going to go too long today. I'm going to go the longest I can. I'm kind of tired, but the coffee's rocking and rolling. So I think we'll be chilling. We'll just keep going. But Jackson's, thank you for being here. It says, every evening team, what is GME's future revenue stream to move us forward? I think, it's GameStop player, but how exactly we see the revenue come in is to be determined. I think part of it is the in-game asset sales, maybe some games themselves, DLC packages, all these different things, and ad revenue potentially through streaming possibilities in the future, but also streaming might just be for the platform, might just be like an individual like myself streaming. There's so much to be determined, so I feel like it's hard to know for certain, but overall, expanding their business and expanding their reach is going to allow them to have future opportunities to raise revenue. That's where my head's at least. But all your base belong to us. What up, Xbit? Good to see you. Wendy, hello. Freshmaker, what up? Yeah, I love all you guys too. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Love to see it. Bought 12 shares today at the end of the trading day. Nice, Freshmaker, nice. I bought a couple the other day myself. Very nice, yes sir. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to think too hard about the numbers because the quarter's not even done yet. What I thought on like Monday when I was streaming, I was like, let me just start looking ahead. And then I've been looking since, and I'm like, what does it seem like we could see coming forwards, right? Like what realistically is a possibility of top line revenue, cost of goods sold, SG&A, considering where the company's been, where they're going. Bad furlong's out now, Ryan Cohen's at the helm, so what could we see change? And more I look at the numbers, the more and more I realize, and since I'm starting to do this now, creating like Tetron estimates, right, or trying to make the best possible estimate I can before each earnings report, the more and more I realize all these like analyst estimates that seem to be taken with so much weight on Wall Street when there's earnings reports for just any company in general. It's like, oh, well, analysts were expecting this and the company actually did that. At the end of the day, if the analyst really doesn't have any specific insight that's not public, how much smarter is that individual, or what makes their opinion that much more of value? And that's why GameStop in particular, to me, it's extremely comical when they're like, oh, well, they missed earnings based on analyst estimates. It's like, okay, look how many analysts are covering this stock since January 2021. 3, literally 3. And then there's only 2 for the following year, or the year of 2025. Excuse me. So I take it with an absolute grain of salt. It is what it is, right? And at the end of the day, GameStop's not going to give guidance, so I don't think you can go based upon that. So all you can really do is go based upon what they're saying, what's in previous earnings reports, what the climate of spending is as a whole, and that's something I kind of want to get a better idea on. How has consumer spending been this year versus last year? I know 2022, it wasn't as high as 2021, whereas people were buying all sorts of things. Savings were higher, credit card debt was lower. And when I say consumer spending, I'm talking about on items that GameStop would sell, right? So in times of more economic difficulty or just people having less money for expenditures, right? They're not going to spend as much on the next video game, whereas they might have to spend a few extra bucks on food. And we are still in a highly inflationary environment. I know inflation's coming down, but everything is like the dollar's still being printed. Things still cost more over time. So, and we're not really pulling money out of the system. There's still more dollars being created day after day. So that's just future inflation in my eyes. You're more welcome to disagree. So that's where I'm at in looking at, well, how is consumer spending affecting just their core revenue at this moment in time? And I think that's why it's really important driving GameStop player forward and eventually that bringing in more revenue. I'm not saying that the e-commerce business or the in-store business is going to completely die out. I don't think that's the hope or the goal or the route in any which way. I'm just saying in this really weird, uncertain time, you have to have other avenues of business. And I think also online, just with machine learning, just like as an AI, just continuing to evolve so rapidly, it's just becoming more and more important to be digital in your business, and your margins are just able to be, I feel like, larger and larger and larger because it's just more and more automation and more presence online. So just some food for thought there. But yes, everyone in the chat here, we'd love to see it. And then I don't even want to comment. Oh, the Bed Bath & Beyond drama. To me, it's comical how intense everybody is. Oh, what is going on here? And I'll just say this, right? Listen, I don't want to tell anybody how to invest, but I just think there's people who get caught up in like, ah, it's the next big play. Everybody's buying it. We're buying it. And I can't help but notice, right? This is just what I think. You can disagree. I love Bed Bath & Beyond. I love GameStop. The BBBY, GME, Teddy, IEP, blah, blah, blah merger is coming. Is it me, or do those accounts always have Ryan Cohen as their profile picture? And it's like, I don't know. That's just too coincidental to me. Why is it always Ryan Cohen's profile picture for those accounts? And I just feel like you never see an account with Ryan Cohen's picture as the profile picture for the account when they're just specifically bullish on GameStop. And if theoretically I wanted to be a bad actor, right? What I would and wanted to be, I don't know how you want to say it, like in good order with the GameStop people or however you want to look at it, right? If I was allegedly going to be a bad actor, right? If somebody wanted to be, I think the way to do it would be to put Ryan Cohen's photo in the profile image and to be like, I love GameStop and this, yeah, like GameStop's this and that, and then also, oh, Bed Bath & Beyond's a play too, but Bed Bath & Beyond's a play too. But then there's also actual people who I think genuinely believe it, but I don't see it because even if somehow, which way, Ryan Cohen is involved in Bed Bath, and for even just like some debt or this or that, it's not a merger. There's no G-America triple quadra merger or whatever everyone's talking about. And I have no problem admitting if I'm wrong. If that happens somehow, so be it. I will admit I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. But I won't even keep going on that. But it's just a bizarre world that it is. And I'm realizing more and more it's better to just be off of social media, although you're probably like, well, you're literally trying to create content. That's what social media is all about. But there's just so much toxicity, and just the smallest thing just gets, oh, well, this is definitely this because of this. And I see like clips of Roaring Kitty, and people are like, oh my God, Bed Bath & Beyond, Roaring Kitty, it's because of this, and this. And I just think of that meme with the guy connecting all the dots, what's it from? I think it's from the guy from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where he's like looking at the board. Like, that's the vibe I get from, like, I don't know, a lot of things though. And that's outside of investing, that's the world. And I realize it's like everybody has the most intense that opinion that, like, if you just drive yourself crazy so easily, falling into rabbit holes, because it's like everywhere you walk there's a rabbit hole of some kind to some degree, just because that's the internet. You click, 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 and then all of a sudden you went from here to here to here to here to here, like that. And then you're like, your brain is spinning. And I've been trying to just zoom out and think about human history, right? I'm not trying to give a history lesson here, but all of our ancestors haven't had this like constant dopamine hit that is social media. Like, it's on completely uncharted waters as humans that we're in. And I don't know, it just really keeps me up at night. But I'm going to get back to GameStop here because I'm going completely off course. But I'm definitely going to try and estimate some numbers today. So I have a couple estimates in mind. Clearly, as you can see here, the previous estimates I had were off. They definitely varied from the actual results. But I think that was the case for a lot of people, and that was coming off a Q4 that was profitable. I have to go back and see if I did any kind of prediction for Q4. But at the same time, I'm okay with doing predictions from here on out, from the start of 2023 and beyond. So I'll be able to look back 4, 5, 6, 7 years from now and be like, damn, that's where my head was at, and how am I improving or somehow getting worse at making estimates for GameStop's earnings or whatever's earnings or this or that. So I'm really trying to do better record keeping for you guys and myself as an individual. But Platinum Sparkles, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Bed Bath & Beyond help. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Toxicity in the city. Toxicity in the city. I'm freaking tripping over my words here. Blue Star, thank you for being here, though. Even if Ryan Cohen was involved in BBBY, he's not, though. It would not help shareholders of BBBY. Exactly, XBit. That's why I don't understand. It's a pink sheet stock. I don't want people to lose, but like, it's everybody can do what they want as an individual. And then the people are like, oh, you're a shill confirmed. It's like, okay, sure. Like, whatever. Moving on to GameStop. So what I've been just starting to think about, this just kind of came to my mind as of late, and I don't want to fully talk about it because I'm not fully grasping it. I started to do a little bit of research today, but didn't have that much time. I really want to see, and definitely give me some info if you guys have it, in regards to how is GameStop upgrading from their previous membership, the $15 a month, or sorry, $15 a year, to now $25 a year. How is that going to impact revenue? As far as I'm aware, that'd still just be reported with regular revenue. But if it's reported quarterly and it's a yearly subscription, wouldn't it theoretically be recognized in fourths? That's what I have to kind of piece together. But I'm wondering if that will help the top line in this upcoming quarter, because I believe when they implemented GameStop Pro, yes, no, it was this quarter that we're in right now. So just something we're going to start to see. And I've said this in the past, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it. I really want to see GameStop Pro integrate everything that they're doing. Integrate the people in the store, make them want to go online, try and utilize the platform, give them some incentive, and then vice versa. People online, give them incentive to go to the store, go to a release date, go to this, go to that, whatever the event may be. And then if they continue to open more stores like Milan, Italy, which I haven't even touched on in a while, right? That's not even been the talk of the town, but there's a lot of possibility that as they continue to evolve and have this platform, now it's like, oh, well, that actually makes a lot of sense to have your own streaming center and your own events in store when you have your own platform that you're doing it upon. So that'll be interesting to see how they can possibly align that in some way or another. And come to think of it, it's in the patent for GameStop Player that it talks about streaming. Maybe it's actually streaming in new GameStop locations, such as the Milan, Italy place, right? So I don't know. I could only wonder, right? We'll have to see. But shill, yes, you're right, XBit. I'm a confirmed shill. What can I say? But damn, I really just got, I think, like a mosquito bite in my house. I'm mad itchy. But regardless, let's get to the numbers here. To pull them up first. So we're going to pull up the same quarter from last year to start out. Hi friends, Anthony, what up? Good to see you. Happy to see you here. So yeah, let's get to income statement first. Then probably throw Evernote on the other side. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I don't want to make official estimates now, so let's just do this. Actually, we're going to do this. And then I'll keep it towards the top because I know my face is like right here in the bottom right corner. Okay, perfect. This is actually as ideal as it can get. So here's where my head's at. Net sales, right? Net sales. This is where I want to get a better understanding, right, of GameStop Pro, how it costing more than GameStop Power Up Rewards. The Switch with an additional $10 per person, that adds up. So is that directly coming on the top line? How is consumer spending? What does retail spending look like as a whole? These are some of the things I need to kind of figure out. So I guess I'm going to note them here first. Retail spending, consumer expenditure spending, what else? GameStop Pro. If there are really people behind this BBBY, GME, Teddy accounts, they will soon see their money disappear. Exactly, Freshmaker. Exactly. It's like the one I was saying it before. I don't know if you guys were here or whatever. I just want to say it again. It's always a profile picture with Ryan Cohen's face that's saying this. Like, I don't know. It's just something I observed. But yes, also integrate the GameStop wallet to airdrop the monthly coupons. That would be fun. That would be awesome, Platinum. That would be actually awesome because, again, that just further integrates everything. And I know people have also talked about the possibility your GameStop points that you earn, like through GameStop Pro, you could actually utilize them in some way with in-game assets or turnaround credit you have or funds you have that, or maybe you could take a step back. If you sell an in-game item, maybe you can get credit on your GameStop Pro that you can then use in a store. That would be awesome, but that's probably way down the line, but definitely something that would be really cool to see. But Yeah, if they really, yeah, exactly. LOL, Shills Unite to talk GME earnings. Exactly, Platinum, exactly. That's what I should name the stream. But what's good, brother? Lux Dioso, thank you for being here. Good to see you. But yeah, so I'm going to say net sales factors. Because I don't want to give like again, if I put numbers on the screen of what I'm estimating, I'm very, very, very likely going to change what I think they're actually going to be closer to the earnings. Because I feel like also a part of research, you have to keep think about it again, think about it from a different angle. Oh, what if this? What if that? Oh, I didn't consider that when I was making this estimate. And then at the end of the day, it's all just going to be estimates. So it all comes down to what the company reports. But also, I feel like with the way Wall Street covers GameStop and the fact I'm very interested in it and wanting to cover the details, I feel like I can give a fair estimate. So why not? And also, it doesn't matter. It's just an estimate. It's not supposed to be like, oh, this is what it's going to be. It's just, this is where my head's at, and this is where I can look back and be like, oh, well, where was my head at? And then where did we actually end up with results? So I think everyone else should do the same too. Create your own estimations. Just EPS, net income, top line revenue. Start there, right? And then before earnings, I'm going to kind of finalize some numbers for all of these. But let's get back to it here. So, well, I guess credit cards wouldn't really matter because people are just going to keep spending on credit cards. So cost of sales, some in factors. We have inflation. We have type of goods sold. So if we see them continue to try and focus on higher margin items, I see a lot of the on sale merchandise is the Atrix brand, which is their in-house brand. So it's hard to know though, without obviously working for the company, where is their bottom line and at what times are they maybe trying to get rid of excess inventory? Is there a strategy of we're trying to get people to buy a lot of items? Like, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet today. I bought like a whole bunch of stuff and it looked like there was like a gazillion discounts and my total would have been 120, but I only wound up spending 90. But I was buying a lot of small stuff, so I thought it also, it just looks aesthetically pleasing. All those prices knocked off, even though most of them were like $1.50. And then GameStop Pro got me an additional 5% off anything clearance I was purchasing. So that was definitely nice. But I bought several things, and I think maybe that's part of the strategy. That's kind of like a side note here, but I'll read off to you guys what I ordered. Tetron, that's a good idea. Thank you, XFit. Thank you. Appreciate you. I'll read you guys what I got. Nothing mind-boggling, but also, by the way, the order's already shipped out. USPS already confirmed it was like accepted to their facility or whatever. So yeah, because I ordered it. Whenever I tweeted it out, that was like right after I ordered it. So that would have been the time. And then I saw it was picked up as of this afternoon. So it's supposed to get to me by this weekend. So that's nice. But I got 2 LED strips. I got more of these things. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm getting these Star Wars Funko Pops. I've really never collected Funkos, but all of a sudden I'm doing the Star Wars theme because why not? So I got R2-D2 and R5-D4, the dude from the newer ones. And then I got a double wall charger, with like 2 USB ports, GameStop brand Atrix. And then I got a 1080p high definition with LED light streaming camera, GameStop exclusive Atrix webcam. Only $16 because I have an old desktop. It's a Windows 7, so I really can't do anything new on there. But on occasion, maybe I'll do like a League of Legends stream with like Marantz or something, and then I'll be able to do it from that computer because I have OBS. I have League of Legends because you still play on Windows 7. The only thing I don't have there is a webcam to make it happen. So kind of stay tuned for that. And then also, at some point or another, I keep talking about like, I'm trying to get to my setup. So that'll be some goods that I'll buy in the future. More goods, or I just figured I'll get the webcam for now. But yeah, I should probably get back to the numbers. I'm just going into my goods that I bought instead of the cost of goods. Let's fucking go. Can't stop, won't stop. Ken? Same. That's why I bought GameStop. This is the way. Where can we learn more about Player? Would love to know a release timeline. So right now, there's no release timeline, and honestly, I don't think there's going to be a release date because how GameStop's done things since Ryan Cohen's got involved, and since everything that's happened that's happened since 2020, early 2021, the nature of GameStop has been no talk, just delivery. So we're just going to have to see it unfold before our eyes. And right now there is limited information, but really you can get the most out of the terms and conditions and the patent, and then just reading other people's ideas, building upon what's officially in either of those things, because you can really only sign up for the trial, right? Or not trial, the beta, or when it launches, to actually get an email like, hey, it just launched, here's your account, or you're all set. Telos did a town hall. They said July. Oh, platinum. Good looks. Good looks. I mean, that's this month. So, and it makes sense the way I feel like Ryan Cohen's always tweeted a lot in July, or like previously he tweeted something referencing the player, or maybe I'm just thinking of when he just tweeted like G America, and then that's mostly just a collection right now, but it seems like maybe it'll be something else. But platinum, I remember you told me about that stream, and I still didn't watch the full thing. Like I watched half of it, and I really paid attention. The other half, I was like, to be honest, like doing something else, so I really wasn't listening to it. So it's like, I was listening, but I wasn't listening, so I have to go back and still finish that. And then I also see Telos has been putting out a lot of stuff, so I encourage you guys also to do it, and I'm going to do it myself, but I'm just all over the place. So if you just go to their thing, Telos Foundation. Oh, who's that guy? Tetron. Hello, Telos. Yeah, so they've been posting a lot of stuff, so definitely some interesting stuff to check out. This is the one I'm talking about that I have to listen back to. See, as you can see, it technically, I listened to the whole thing, but I really got to listen to it. Just dropping in and say hello. Don, I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. I'm here for it. Yeah, exactly. It's a truly unique style, that's for sure. NFT Marketplace came out in July last year. Thank you, Platinum. Yeah, exactly 1 year ago. That's right. I saw people wishing it a happy birthday. I think it was yesterday, or maybe even this morning. All the days get mixed up all the time. Hope July, I'm a buyer. Same, Jackson, same. We did an AMA with them too. Oh, okay, yes, good looks, good looks. It's crazy because it's like there's always so much coming out, and this is why I have to get better organized, because there's so much to understand, and it's not like you could just type in like, oh, GameStop player, and then this all just comes up. You have to like have an organized place, and that is part of Super Stonk. So I gotta catch up a little bit. Been slacking, but yes, that's the one. Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. Good looks. But yeah, so let me get back to the numbers here. So yeah, shout out to Hello Telos. Definitely a lot of information there. Sub them up, just grow popularity. And by the way, what was that tweet Ryan Cohen had? Think not what you can do for your company. I don't know. I'm not even going to try and say it. I'm going to butcher it because I can't. I'm forgetting it off the dome. But basically, what you can do for your company, not what your company can do for you. So just simply liking, retweeting GameStop stuff, just doing the small stuff, I really feel like goes a long way, because there's so many individuals that really like GameStop. So when you think, oh, does it even matter if I like their tweet or retweet it? Yeah, I think it does. I really do. I really do. And you might think, oh, well, I have the same people following me, but as a whole, it just helps the algos any which way. It's just more people liking, retweeting based on the impression, or I'm just talking about in Twitter sense, but any GameStop anywhere. And also leave reviews on things. Like when I get my products, I'm gonna try and leave some reviews. Even if it's just 5 stars, it was nice. And I don't think make it too dramatic, because if you leave a review like, oh my god, best company ever, LOL, moon, then obviously someone reads that and they're like, okay, this is like not a real review, so be legit if you are gonna do a review. Today someone asked Dr. Disrespect if he'll launch his game Dead Drop on the GameStop player launcher, and he never answered. Freshmaker, I swear, I think you maybe heard us say in the past, I've been theorizing the idea of Dr. Disrespect partnering with GameStop in some way or another, because he had a tweet a while back basically saying, like, if you don't believe in digital assets, you're stupid, or something, or just, in his natural tone. He was like, you're wrong, or something, or some kind of tweet, I don't know. And basically, from what I understand, he's a believer in Web3, or sees the potential for it. And somebody that's been in the space a really long time like that, I think that's a great sign. And also, I think he just has a lot of personality, and he is now building his own stuff. Like, he's on that level. So power to the creator. I think him and GameStop would truly be an epic combination. And it would be fantastic for the platform. That brings so many people over. Like, I feel like there's people who like Dr. Disrespect that don't even necessarily like gaming, just because like the clips and just how he is, and just that awesome like unique personality. Or I don't know, I find him hilarious. Like, I didn't even really know who he was. Like, I knew of him until earlier this year, and you just find someone, you're like, let me see who this person really is, and you just kind of go down their YouTube rabbit hole. I was watching all his old stuff, like, dude, this guy, this is crazy. Yeah, exactly. How little info comes up on Google regarding player. Exactly, yo, it's crazy. It's unfortunate, but that's also why I figured when we talk about GameStop, that's why we got Platinum over in Supersonk talking about GameStop. It's just individuals have to just share information because unfortunately, it's not just can Google it, right? It appears that way, right, with most things, but things you really want to learn and understand that aren't just easily visible to the public, such as what is GameStop Player. You have to really do some digging these days, and that's the strange part about the internet. It's like, oh yeah, it's all accessible for all, but unless you really dig into what you want to know, it's just a lot of surface information across the board, right? And I think that's not just GameStop, that's anything on the internet, right? So, pretty crazy. Google's probably in bed with the shorts, FYI. It could be XBit. You said it, not me. Platinum for the win as always. Yeah, exactly. XBit, my thoughts exactly. Yep. It is what it is, right? But let's get back to numbers. Sorry, guys. Always running off to the side. But I'm so tired today. It's crazy. Actually, crazy. I mean, it's not like it's been so busy at work or something, but I've been sleeping not enough. But having good times and getting some stuff done. But there's always more to be done. There's always more to be done. I truly believe that. So cost of sales factors. So type of goods sold. Inventory management. I would say. Well, I don't know if you'd say, because I'm thinking like how much product is sent at once might affect the cost of good. Because if you're seeing, oh, well, this particular region is selling a lot more of this type of product, and then you start sending more by doing a larger order, potentially your price might come down a little bit, and then all of a sudden, and then your price might come down on the product itself from the supplier, or the price might come down a little bit on the shipping because now you shipped more at one time, whereas it would have been two shipments for two different times. You combine it to one, like small stuff like that. So I don't know if inventory management, I would say inventory efficiency, maybe efficiency. But again, that's like, how can I know that for sure? These are just some of the things like I theorize. But then we get to gross profit. So yeah, I think definitely positive, right? Or I'll say, yeah, here, definitely positive. Um, I'm looking for a 300 million gross profit plus, I think, because I could see SG&A for the last quarter was what, like 345, I believe. Yeah, I forgot I actually wrote it here. I was gooning around the other day trying to make my own estimates, but so SG&A for Q1 was 345.7 million. So knock that down about another 10 million, that would be 335. So if you can turn a gross profit of 300 million and then you have SG&A that low, you have a chance to be almost profitable. Well, I guess you wouldn't be profitable if that's the case unless gross profit was very north of 300 million, like 320 million, 330 million, and then even those aren't break even, but then ideally, SG&A could come even lower. So it's hard to say. And where I want to look at SG&A when I get to the next line here is the previous earnings. I know there was something mentioned about the wind down of European operations and how there's still costs that will be associated with the wind down in next quarter. So really the final cost cutting, I would say, I mean, of course, there's always more opportunities to cut costs or adapt the business, but of the turnaround, the final cost cutting is kind of really riding out at this point in time. So we'll still not, we will still potentially not be at the lowest SG&A will be. I think for these same two quarters next year, Q1 2024, Q2 2024, there's a great possibility it's closer to even 300 million. But at the same time, if you're ideally needing more employees because your new avenue of business, everything with GameStop Player, I'm sorry, GameStop Player. Thought I was starting to mix up GameStop Player, GameStop Pro, but GameStop Player, you could start hiring for that. Then SG&A may go up, or some other factors, right? We don't truly know, but those are some of my thoughts there. So so we'll go to SG&A. SG&A, that looks bad. Looking for, I'm going to say looking for less than Q1-23. Oh wait, I have to scroll up at this point, I just realized. No. Okay. It's not wanting to cooperate. You know what's crazy, guys? I do every stream literally on the trackpad too. I'm a total goon. Because I literally have one USB port on this stupid Microsoft Surface, and I literally have the thing to like give you extra USB ports, but I don't think it works. Or like it didn't. This is how I have it. It didn't work. I put it down, and I haven't even touched it since. And I've just kind of kept rocking and rolling because just a fiend with the trackpad. You know, can be quick with it. But what it was 345.7. So we'll get that here. I'm going to say ideally 335, but let's possibly change this after we look at the most recent quarterly earnings. Let's see. I'd really like to see both you and Marantz do an interview with Laser Haas. In Marantz's case, it would be a second time, as he said before. Marantz wasn't ready the first time. You both are ready. Laser Haas has a lot of insight into private equity, which is the key to all of this. Yeah, actually, I caught some of that first one because Marantz's the type of guy. He's like, "Oh, you want to come on right now?" Like he's literally streaming. He's like, "Bet, I'll get your number. Well, I'll get you on here right now." So it was all on the spot, and there was a lot he had to look into, and I didn't fully go down it, and definitely there's a lot of interesting information he presents. That's for sure. But I do want to talk about these things, right? But I can't help but think, I don't want to be too, I don't know, leave it at this. I don't want to be too deep in the rabbit hole. I'm still scratching the surface of life and finance, and I feel like I have a lot of things to understand, but I'm not saying I'm going to shy away or I'm not trying to be scared, but I'm saying I don't want to go too deep down a rabbit hole I'm not quite prepared for. But I'm absolutely willing to listen and observe, but I have to really, get myself to a place. But I do appreciate that insight, though. So I'll have to look into them a little bit again because I know Marantz talks a lot about private equity as well, and that's a whole different ballgame. That's quite incredible because I actually do work. Funny enough, I work with private equity pretty much or alternative assets for retirement accounts, but basically we're a passive custodian, so we're not approving it. I'm not on the investment side of things. So we're also not like telling people what they can and can't do. And unless you're like an investment review person, then you're not seeing exactly what's going on. I'm also just facilitating things, just like a regular financial institutions like wires and ACHs and all that stuff. That's my role. But people do talk about the possibility of like, can you de-risk your shares with your IRA? It's possible, but you need something called an IRA LLC. So if you set one of those up, but no, I appreciate your understanding, Lux. I do. Thank you. Laser House needs to buy some shares. Yeah, that would be definitely exciting. I mean, anybody that buys shares, that's pretty solid, right? But yeah, I'm always keep just always on the view, always on the outlook. So okay, let's get back to business here. Okay, most recent earnings. Okay. Oh, no, I literally had it so nice. Okay. Boom. Rocking and rolling. Right, yeah, because I don't want to be cutting anything off. I know it's just one little part, but details matter. So, also go like that, so it's up there. So, let's see on SG&A. Although, touchscreen action, boom. Okay, so now what we need to go to is the wind down. It's going to be in the details here somewhere. Oh, I believe there's also something related to IMX. See, let's check this out here. In January 2022, we entered into contractual agreements with Immutable X Party Limited, IMX, and Digital World NFTs, pursuant with the company entitled to receive up to 150 million in digital assets in the form of IMX tokens once certain constructual milestones have been achieved. Upon announcement, we achieved our first milestone under the agreement with IMX and recognized a 79 million non-current receivable and corresponding deferred income liability related to our entitlement of IMX tokens as of January 29, 2022. During 2022, we achieved our second and third milestones under our agreements with IMX and recognized an additional 33.8 million of deferred income liability on our condensed consolidated balance sheets. The deferred income is recognized over the term of the contractual agreement. We liquidated all tokens received under our agreements with IMX in fiscal 2022 and have no IMX token assets recorded on the consolidated balance sheet as of January 29, 2023. Again, GameStop said this from the beginning. They're not going to hold cryptocurrency itself. They're in the business of facilitating it and allowing it to transact on various blockchains and build on blockchain and utilize the Web3 space that is clashing with gaming now, as I see it. And by the way, there are other names as well, just quietly and not so heavily getting into it, but they're still building upon it and or hiring for it. So I talked about that last stream, and then you just look up Web3, like Take-Two or Web3. Sony, they're all starting to get interested, right? But regardless, GameStop's not trying to get involved in the cryptos themselves. They're trying to just utilize the technology. And I think that's kind of why originally when you heard them say like, oh, well, now we're a tech company, people are like, what? I don't know. Oh, okay. Like people like us are like, myself, not us. Everybody's an individual, right? But people like that may be interested in GameStop, we're like, oh, that's awesome, right? Yes, that is what I want to see. But the average person's like, GameStop's not a technology company. What? But it's like, this is, I think, what they mean, utilizing technology and building upon it, power to the player, power to the creator, through the technology that's being built upon. So that's just some kind of perspective thought I had here too, also reading this. But during the first, and also that it limits them from dealing with any kind of volatility in the space, right? It's still a bear market kind of for cryptos, kind of, sort of. And then also as it gets more about the gaming, it doesn't even matter about the state of the crypto markets or just markets as a whole. So which I do think, by the way, that the start of next year, we're going to see kind of a crypto rally, but I'm not a financial advisor. Make your own individual decisions. And I think Bitcoin is an alternative asset class, just with the rising dollar. But again, do your own research, make your own decisions. Let's keep going here. So I think they just don't want to be in that. But a crypto hype cycle is still good for GameStop because it just draws attention to the space. But to keep going, so they have no IMX assets. During the first quarter of 2022, we recognized a loss of 7.2 million on the non-current receivable, impairment of 33.7 million of the digital assets, gain of 6.9 million of the sale of digital assets, and deferred income of 13.9 million in SG&A expenses. During the first quarter of 2023, we recognized deferred income of 14.3 million of SG&A expenses. As of April 29, 2023, the remaining deferred income liability related to our agreements with IMX was 43 million in accrued liabilities and other current liabilities on our condensed consolidated balance sheets. Okay, so that was kind of a lot. But what I'm reading here is this IMX deal is, I don't want to say damaging, but increasing the SG&A expense. And in the first quarter, 13.9 million was SG&A in relation to this. So this same first quarter next year in 2024. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I think did I bamboozle myself? Yes. No, I did not. Because I saw 2022 and that totally messed me up for a second. 2023, Q1, they had 13.9 million related to IMX, the prior agreement. So this same quarter next year, now you wouldn't have Matt Furlong's pay in there, you wouldn't have IMX, you wouldn't have European operations winding down. So all of a sudden I'm starting to think, well, already SG&A was only 345 million. So could we be at the very low 300 million or possibly even below 300 million for SG&A for Q1 2024? And then does that mean Q2 2023, which we're about to head into and that we're talking about here, maybe we are still not going to see the greatest like SG&A. And keep in mind the quarter from last year, Q2 2022, SG&A was 387.5 million. I feel like we should put that on here. 387.5 million Q2 2022. So ideally, you know, or not ideally, it's still an improvement if that number is lower, but I think it's even more exciting if the number is lower than the last quarter we just had, Q1 2023. And then also it would be like, okay, well, there's probably, based upon what we just saw here, there's probably still going to be more IMX charges or expenses recognized under SG&A in the next quarter. And also, what I was originally going to, and then I got distracted, from European operations winding down, they mention here, I just have to find the spot, that, and by the way, this is the marketable securities, where they earn almost 5% now. Every time the Fed raises rates, GameStop earns more on its cash. So that's at least something they can benefit on, because it seems like the Fed's inevitably going to continue to raise rates. So let's see. Okay, during the 3 months, April 30th, 2022, we recognize impairment charges, 33.7 million associated with digital assets and SG&A expenses. Recognized. Okay, so that's probably just from before. This is something else. But yeah, let me hit the chat real quick. Completely understand. I think having you on deck to respond at appropriate times would be valuable, but I think Morant should host. Dude, Morant's is the best host for sure. Dropping by to like, we'll run it back later. Linda Real, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, really. Thank you for stopping in. Even if you're here for a little bit, just catch a little bit of the stream. I appreciate that even so much. Thank you. But let me find that European part. Oh, okay. Income tax benefit. No. Let's see. I'm trying to find the buzzword. Maybe just go by Europe. Okay. We committed to a plan to sell property in our Europe segment consisting of a warehouse building, land, and other property and equipment with a total net carrying value of 7.1 million as of April 29, 2023. In April 2023, the company entered into an agreement to sell the warehouse building and land for approximately 3.1 million. The transaction is expected to close in the third quarter of 2023. During the first quarter of 2023, we're going to plan to sell additional property in our Europe segment, consisting of a warehouse building and land, total net carrying value of 6.5 million. There were no impairment charges recognized on these asset groups as the estimated fair value exceeded the respective carrying values. Okay, so from what I'm reading here, they'll recognize a $6 million profit. I mean, this is something completely separate, so I'm just going to throw it down here for future reference, or if I try to create some kind of timeline in the future, or just, you know, again, trying to collect more and more information and sort it. May recognize, or expected to recognize $6 million gain Q3 2023 for sale of European land. / property, and then I'll put the source. It was, what page is this? 10. Page 10, Q1 2023 earnings. Let's go. 100 share minimum requirement at Laser Haas. Xbit, I like it. You said it, not me. You're calling the shots out here. No, I'm just playing, but yeah, no, I think it's one of those things, you know, just got to go all in, right? Why would you not go? No, I'm just playing. But, you know, really, I think the best way to average, you know, just random side note, but I think the best way to get into a position of any kind or anything you want to invest in is you average in. I used to always just be so anxious when I first started out being interested in stocks or investments. And even with GameStop, I feel like I had to always get it right away, right? And a lot of people probably felt like that. And then over time, you recognize it's about just averaging in, right? Consistently averaging in, consistently buying into something because you believe in it in the long term, not because it's going to just go up like that, right? If
you are expecting that, then yeah, maybe your strategy is to go in heavy, or maybe your strategy is completely different because maybe you're more in a trading situation, a swing trade situation, a trend situation, whatever it may be. But if you're truly just investing with the idea of holding indefinitely or until your perspective of why you're bullish entirely changes, or there is some reason to sell, whatever it may be, then I think it really just makes sense to average into something you want to hold, because you never truly know what's going to happen in the short term. I really believe that. Of course, there's always going to be technical analysis, and there's always going to be some vision, right, of what may happen, but nothing's ever for certain tomorrow, right? I think it's really as simple as that. And I think that's beyond the stock market, that's life, but especially like the stock market. Like, you don't know what tomorrow's share price action is going to look like for GameStop. So, but that's a random side note there. So, wait, were we probably skipped over? All right, and keep going here. So, I thought there was going to be one other part where, because then I got a little distracted. Yeah, let me finish my coffee too as I'm finishing here, looking through it. All right, so maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it was just for the sale of the properties that they're mentioning. But I thought I had read somewhere that there were going to be costs associated with the actual wind down, such as some things being sold as a loss, but I could be mistaken here. Maybe maybe I had the sale of the property slash land or warehouse, whatever it was, and the digital asset situation with IMX mixed up. So I'm also going to put here, though, going back to SG&A, probably will recognize expense under SG&A related to IMX again. Still, and then also as they're recognizing this, from what I understand, it's a deferred income liability. It remains at 43 million, so they're lowering their liability, so it's one less current liability. So still 43 million liability on balance sheet. And then also, to get better understanding this, like maybe you're not fully convinced I know what I'm talking about, or maybe I'm like, shit, what if I don't know what I'm talking about right now and I just want to confirm? Then I go over to my assistant here. Logged out. It's crazy. Um, whoa. Explain in simple terms. Let's see what we got. Let it go out completely. When we first announced the achievement under IMX, we recorded 79 million non-receivable on our financial records, as we were expecting to receive IMX tokens worth 79 million, but we hadn't received them yet. We also had to record a corresponding deferred income liability, which means we owed IMX tokens worth 79 million. During the fiscal 2022, we met our second and third goals outlined in the agreement. Okay, we got to this before, so that was 33 million of deferred income liabilities on our financial records, means IMX tokens total increased to 112.8 million. Okay, we already talked about this. We had no IMX tokens left because, yes, again, they're not holding them. We recorded a loss. Okay, during the first quarter of fiscal 2022. See, isn't it fiscal 2023? Why does that say that? Or let's say, oh, okay. See, I keep getting ahead of myself. We had some financial entries related to the agreements. We recorded a loss of 7.2 million on non-current receivable, which means we couldn't collect the full amount we were owed. We also had an impairment of 33.7 million on the digital assets, meaning their value decreased. Gotcha. See, that's good. Impairment means digital asset value fell down there. or that was what the impairment charge on the report was. On the positive side, we gained 6.9 million from selling some of the digital assets. Additionally, recorded deferred income of 13.9 million as part of our selling general administrative costs. So in the first quarter of 2023, we recorded an additional 14.3 million of deferred income in our SG&A expenses. We still have deferred income liability of 43 million. So that 43 million, I'm thinking if, these numbers stay the same, we saw 13.9 million in the same quarter last year, Q1 2022, then Q1 2023, 14.3 million is recognized. So I think it's pretty safe to say, or generally say, around 13 or 14 million, or let's say 14.1 million. That would be the average of those two numbers there, of the SG&A in the next quarter would be related to Immutable X, theoretically, right? So if that's the case, and then let's say SG&A comes in at 333 million, that's a situation where then Q2 2024 is at least going to be at 320 million, if not less, if there's not more cost cuts in addition. Because also keep in mind, while I said before, oh yeah, well, winding down Europe operations, I thought maybe there was expenses related to it. Maybe not, or again, maybe I was mixing up my ideas, or I don't know. I just misspoke or misthought. Who cares, right? Who knows? But the point is, now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, in the future, that's just less operations taking place next year. Whereas, yes, that might decrease revenue in one spot or another. It's a lot more likely that the costs associated would drop a lot. So, or not drop a lot, like it's not going to be like dramatically different, but it would be an impact overall. But there's also wages going up. Like I said before, there's also a possibility you start hiring for GameStop Player more because you see a segment that's really working and you need more customer service for it. You need more people growing on it, working on it, programming it, whatever it may be, right? And also, I think what we've seen from the start of GameStop in its progression since Ryan Cohen's been taking over everything and completely changed all the individuals running the company, common theme has been adapting. It's like every time something they have to shift gears, whether it's letting somebody go or getting rid of something. Like they used to have like Sushi Wop right in the wallet, right? They don't even have that anymore, I'm pretty sure. To be honest, I haven't even opened my wallet in quite a while, so I have to check on that. By the way, I do put my wallet address in my YouTube description of my videos. So if you guys ever want to send me like a fun NFT for whatever reason, go right ahead, but you literally don't have to. I'm just saying. But point is, I haven't been in my wallet in a while, so that was just one small way they adapted. Otherwise, in terms of publicly, whereas it's like, oh, Matt Furlong's gone, bad news, stock down 20%. Insiders buy. Stock goes up, yeah, it's like, well, yeah, okay, why is GameStop rallying? Like the articles totally changed, like classic social media, financial media. But regardless, they're gonna have to continue to adapt. That's a big part of things. So whether it's people or something we don't quite see from within, continuously adapting just allows them to continuously maybe just shave off a penny here, shave off a penny there. Just keep cutting costs just enough to get things to where they be, or just enough where it's, yeah, I don't know, just enough to this or that, however you want to look at it, right? But starting to kind of burn out here, so let's try to get through the rest of the income statement here. So asset impairments. So will we see more impairment charges? So if I'm understanding this correctly from what we were just talking about with the IMX tokens, as they recognize more SG&A expenses, or as they recognize more of the liability, right? It is no longer a liability on the balance sheet. It's less and less of a liability, and more of the SG&A is recognized each quarter. That just means there's less room for the value of IMX changing to show up in asset impairments. So I don't think we'll see a giant number in asset impairments in the future. Whereas I think it was Q1 2022, where I was looking at, it was higher. Or I don't know. Now I'm really starting to put my mind in a complete pretzel. I'm very much confused myself. So probably forget the last minute or so of what I said, or take it with a grain of salt. Again, guys, I'm just like everyone else. I'm literally not perfect. I'm just out here doing my thing. But so asset impairments, I'm going to say expecting swing of -3 or +3. So it's just barely going to affect the statement, right? Or I'm going to say, yeah, because you never truly know with crypto, so it's volatile. And also maybe I'm misunderstanding that. Maybe that's something I have to check back on. So put a couple stars here. And then interest income tax or interest income expense. So if they're earning a lot on their marketable securities, let's see what the last income statement looked like. We'll also actually have it here. Interest expense. See, it was still a loss. So okay, that's must be what they're paying down their debt. Or okay, so we'll leave that one blank for now because again, I feel like I'm just burning out right now. Now I'm just completely losing my train of thought. So just about to wrap up the stream, but got to get the final ideas out. So leave that open. Then net income. So that's a good question, right? There's so many X factors. So what can net income be? I think overall, you want to improve from the same quarter last year. So that would be Q2 2022, which was right here. You had a net loss of 108 million and a loss per share of 36 cents per share. And you might think here, oh my God, well, it already went up. What happened? But at that point in time, there was still some spending taking place as part of the turnaround. As you can see, SG&A was still pretty steady there. So that's just something for, or some food for thought. And then also, issuing shares and got to go, a whole backstory there. But I'm really looking forwards here and also seeing what last quarter, Q1 2023 reported. It was almost, not almost profit, but almost 300% year over year increase, I believe. Yeah, so went from negative 157 million on the bottom line to negative 50 million. So that was 1/3 of the loss. So if you could go 1/3 again of this number, you're looking at about 35, right? 36 million loss. So let's say that for now. Or we'll say ideally 1/3 of net loss Q2-22. I don't know. Again, guys, start to feel so tired. So, I don't want to put like firm numbers of what I think it because it's like way too early. It's like when you do like fantasy draft rankings, like or when they do like way too early predictions for next year's Super Bowl when it isn't even football season yet, right? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So I don't want to go too early. But the quarter is going to end right here. So most likely it will be reported probably like the start of September. That's what it seems like. Yeah, we'd have to see when the last filing was. Because if the April one came out in early June, yeah, that sounds about right. So probably about early September. And by the way, guys, I said in a past stream, so if you missed it, I'm going to take a half day. As soon as I find out GameStop is reporting earnings, I find out the official date, I'll be taking a half day to live stream it right after. Live stream as the numbers come out. If there's an earnings call, who knows if there'll be, right? Last quarter they canceled it. This one I feel like they will have one again, but you never know with GameStop, right? And the nature of what they're doing is just move in silence. Don't believe us, just watch. So it's possible they won't. But regardless, I'm trying to take a half day from work so I come home, stream, be on top of everything that's happening in the moment with all of you guys because all of you guys are awesome. So I feel like I owe it to everyone out there to be here just talking about GameStop because also it's the moment in time where everybody's pretty much looking all at once at GameStop. So for what I'm doing, it makes sense, to just take half a day of work. But also, I have to be sure I can get the day because if GameStop's like, well, we're reporting in 2 weeks, there's not like a guarantee. Somebody might already have something planned. So, nothing's for certain, but there's a 99% plus chance I will be streaming next earnings report. So be looking out for that. So I'm going to say ideally, I'm going to leave it here for the income statement like analysis for today. Ideally, the net loss will be 1/3 of Q2 2022, around 35 million. But, right, this is a very pessimistic, or, yeah, I guess, I don't want to say pessimistic, but I feel like the way last quarter went, where I was like, oh yeah, I could definitely see it happening, and really being completely wrong has now made me like, okay, well, there's a lot of reasons it might not be there yet. So I feel like I'm being very cautious in my estimates at this time. And again, why I don't want like a definite like estimate for Tetron at this moment in time. This is just my starting thought process. So I want to be very clear about that. So yeah, I haven't checked chat in a second. Let's see. All my shares are having baby shares. It's part of the theta reproduction organ. XBit, exactly. And eventually, I think GameStop will do dividends, but who knows? Maybe not till like 2030 or until things are really rocking and rolling and they just have capital to pay out. And I mean, obviously, they never just want to, yeah, let's just throw it away, but to really reward their shareholders and Brian Cohen, just allow them to continue to hold. Individuals will then have the option to reinvest their dividends as well. So that's an exciting thing in itself, potentially in the future, which I do think will happen eventually. You saw the Yuri Tarded thing on Twitter with Ryan Cohen. I found it really sad that they troll him like that. He just wanted to be helpful. Damn, no, I actually didn't see that. Was it the newest one? Let's see. Let's check it out. Ryan Cohen's thing. I'll do that real quick. GME for life, cuh. Meagle, what up? Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Okay, let's see. You saw the No, I'm not seeing it. But I saw he just replied to a couple more people today, or just one person, Duke. Oh, yeah. I'm stupid. I'm like, oh, I don't see it. It's literally right in my face. Damn. That is actually really messed up. I didn't realize that's what happened. Damn. Freshmaker, shout out to you, Freshmaker. You're literally like my right hand man, low key. Thank you so much for all you do for the stream. You told me about the mic that time. You tell me about the things like that are right in my face, and I feel like I'm like, oh, it's right there. What was I like saying? So like, who is this guy? Bozo. What is this? I don't know what this is. I'm your. I don't know. Seems like a dick move to me. Seems like an anti GME type of fellow, right? Maybe. I don't know. Like it is funny though, also, but it is also like a dick move because like look what he's doing. Like I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is, right? But I think I'll leave it there for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope Ryan Cohen continues to reply. I hope this doesn't deter him in any way. But also I feel like Ryan Cohen has a good sense of humor. And I'm sorry, I said this was today. This was yesterday. So he's the type of person I feel like that's gonna laugh it off. He's not gonna just get deterred from it. So at the end of the day, that is pretty good, Yuri. I think I just saw it. I was like, oh yeah, like I didn't see the reply though. So it is what it is, right? But I don't know. I feel like obviously, I'm like, oh, it's Ryan Cohen. You don't want to be bashing this guy. But at the same time, I'm sure you could take a joke. And yeah, we'll see if he continues to reply to people. I really think, we talked about Dr. Disrespect before as an influencer. More influencers like this, such as Emily, maybe, right? As a potential marketing situation, not just partnership necessarily. I really think you just need to be creative with your marketing now, and partnering with influencers really is the way to get people actually on board with your product. Because if somebody really likes the person, they'll use that product because they're doing it or they're playing or they're using it, whatever it may be, right? So then also you just have to appeal to the audience. So that's just how it goes. Cohen can handle it. Inkton, I think you're right. I think you're right. Maybe I'm being a little too dramatic with my analysis, but at the same time, I I think it's one of those like, yeah, you're on Twitter, you're in the ring. So I think you're right. I think you're right. But quickly, I'll end on the last thing. And I always say, oh yeah, I'm gonna end the stream, and then just keep going and going. But and also was it Inkton all day? Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. See the newest games. So we've had some pretty big games come out this year. Then this list is just very broad, and there's a lot obviously I'm not familiar with. But it's nice to see Game Informer that is part of GameStop, so they do have it all here in one place. If you ever want to check it out, again, you could look this up on any other site, but Why would you not use the site that's GameStop's? Because, you know, just supporting the company in any which way, whether it's a click, a like, a retweet, a reshare, send it here, send it to this person, let this person know, talk about it, right? You know, obviously I'm not saying that you have to live and breathe GameStop. And I heard somebody say this recently, and I was like, wow, that's a good point. It's never good to let your whole personality become any one thing, right? Like, I even as much as I love GameStop, I'm not forever only going to live and breathe my whole life of just GameStop, right? Like, I'm not gonna like think about it 24/7. Like, anything you think about 24/7, like, you need diversity in your life. Like, I'm not saying like I'm gonna go shop Amazon for Switch just because I feel like it. I'm not saying that at all. I say absolutely I'm gonna fucking support GameStop in that scenario, right? But I just mean I don't know. When a person said it in a different context where it's like your whole life is controlled by one thing, it just makes you like a weirdo. But I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm just going off complete tangent right now. Like I said, guys, I'm pretty tired, pretty burnt out. So I feel like I'm just completely rambling here. So just support GameStop is what I'm saying in a nutshell. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let's see. You also like the You're Retarded answer from NFT Spike. So I think he's good. But now also took the like away. So good point, Freshman. That's some good analysis right there. Good info. Thank you. So you're right. I think you take it, but then he's also like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna remove this. Gotta go, guys. Thanks for all you do, Tetron. Challenger, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. You know, just doing my thing, brick by brick, step by step. As GameStop grows, I'll continue to grow too. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I feel like wired tired right now. You know when you're really tired, but then you just have coffee and you're like, so yeah, I'm wired tired right now. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope everyone has a good night.